What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Do a Podcast. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Anthony.
Hmm.
I like that. I wanted to do a beat as well. It sounded fun.
A little pause. Yeah.
Yes. I want to give the audience some. I want to give our listener some anticipation.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, welcome to CageFest. Episode 1 of CageFest.
CageFest, cage match, CageFest.
Exactly that. Yeah. We are watching the movie Pig. Well, we watched the movie Pig.
And we are currently watching it. No, yeah, we already watched it.
That would be interesting. You know, eventually we could probably do something like that now that we have a setup.
Yeah, we just have to do it to make sure we don't get a copyright strike.
Yep. So stick around. We'll talk about that movie. But first, of course, we talk about beer. So
yes,
I picked up The Bad Wiggles, a turning point with collaboration with a Zilker, which I love the can. It's nice and sleek.
Yep. Ryan assures me this beer is good. I hope it doesn't give me the bad wiggles.
Oh, yeah, I hope not. But obviously, it's an IPA. With turning point, it's either. Oh, sorry. I know that's great audio. It's either a IPA or a sour usually.
Yeah, we gotta give the audience the sound of the can so they know it's like quality audio here. Oh, and I just spelled it on myself. That's
awesome.
Great.
We're doing great.
Yeah. Top notch.
Yeah, usually I usually pour this and everything beforehand. I was like, you know what? We're hitting live. We're just gonna go. But anyway,
fuck it, we'll do it live.
That's right. Anthony, how has your week been? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh, my week. I've been keeping busy. My wife's been out of town, so I've been like living bachelor style. And by living bachelor style, I mean living in a pigsty basically, and then cleaning up immediately, like maybe an hour before my wife gets home. So
sounds about right.
And becoming a responsible adult again. So
yeah, man, busy week. It was a busy week for me. Just, still doing the job search thing, and that's keeping me busy enough right there, honestly.
Yeah.
But
gotta fight the man. It's like get and do your own thing. Work for a different man.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Have you had a sip yet?
I have not.
Take a sip. Do it.
I guess it's time to drink the beer.
Yeah, drink a beer. That's this first segment. We talk about and drink about beer. We drink about beer. I'm doing great.
This doesn't go well with the flavor of the strawberry drink I'm drinking right now.
Oh, yeah. No, not at all.
That does not complement it.
Yeah.
I need to wait for my palate to like cleanse itself a little bit before I do that again.
So while we wait, let's talk about some of the beer events coming up. So since we're doing
beer events,
the beer events, beer event. Never mind. I'm stopping. We're only going to talk about a few of them since we're doing CageFest, because we'll release, obviously today, the 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd. So we're doing 3 episodes this month. So, we got to make sure we portion out what we talk about a little bit better than normal. So coming up this Thursday, March 10th, it's banter with the brewer over at Odd Muse. If you haven't been to Odd Muse, I say that's the perfect time to go. You get to meet Bobby, a fantastic brewer owner. It's one of my favorite spots still. It's further away now, sadly, but I need to get back over there. And then, so I don't know if I already said that's March 10th. And then over at Simon Rock Brewery, they got Shake Your Shamrock Party.
Yeah, so we got the St. Patrick's Day stuff coming up. So this is probably not an all-inclusive list of everything going on. I know our guy over at Beer and Big D is usually got it on lock, but I'm sure there's got to be more stuff going on.
Oh yeah. There's probably just so much. I doubt he could just fit everything.
Yeah, that'd be half the website at this point.
So pretty much on the 12th, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 St. Patrick's Day parties. So You got one, yeah, Silent Rock, Cowtown, Oak Highlands, Arlington Backyard, which I've never actually heard
Yeah,
of
it's a
that
new
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Bearded Monk up in Denton. Uh, that well, let's see, 13th. Yeah, we could talk about 13th. Okay, great. 10-year anniversary party over at Oak Street Draft House. That's up in Denton. All right, that's all we're going to talk about with events because I got to read and be like, okay, hold on. I'm only going through a certain date.
But we do have one look ahead event that we usually mention every time it's coming up
It's
because
true.
it always sneaks up on us. Coming up at the end of this month is the Big Texas Beer Fest. That's right. So you heard us talk about it like all the freaking time last year, and then I didn't go. But it's coming up again, March 26th. Like I think it's like less than 6 months later after the last one. So
Yeah.
I don't have tickets for it this time. So
Yeah, I probably still won't go.
so if you go, let us know how it is.
Take plenty of pictures and show
Yeah.
us.
We'll hit it up in 2023, I guess.
Hoping.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely Big Texas Beer Fest. Again, I would highly recommend it. It's so much fun. We've only been once, but it was such a blast. We really got to hang out with the people over at Cowtown Brewing, and I mean, ever since then, we love Cowtown.
Yeah, they've got a lifelong fan in me. And now that I live like maybe like 10 minutes from there, I spend a lot of time there.
Especially now that they have a location in South Lake.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
So I need to hit up that one because that's closer for me. So, well, is it? I don't know anymore, actually. I need to look it up, I guess, but I would imagine so.
You might be 50-50 there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
truly. I'm still trying to figure all this out. But so there we go. Beer and bigd.com.
Yeah. Thank you again.
Yeah,
Like we reached out to him, and he's a cool dude. So
indeed.
thank you, and doing the Lord's work there.
The Lord's work. So now that you've said it a little bit, how's the drink feeling for you?
Yeah, now that my palate actually doesn't have like strawberry sitting on it, it's pretty good. It's not as I didn't really look into it too much beforehand, so I'm not sure what the palette is here. Did we ever pull it up on Untapped?
No, I don't know my Untapped login anymore. So
Oh no,
I know I got to figure all that out.
let me provide some good audio while I log this in here.
Yeah, so a while ago, I we switched phone companies, and during that, I lost everything. So nothing saved on my phone. So all the stuff like passwords to like Untapped and other apps, it's just become a chore, honestly, to even think about doing it. So
Yeah. So the description on Untapped for the Bad Wiggles is it's a triple New England IPA, which now that I'm tasting it, I could tell yeah it's triple
for sure.
You should probably know that going into it, so you're not caught off guard. But triple New England IPA with Citra, Strata, Eldorado, Chinook, Mosaic, and Zappa hops. Beer brewed in collaboration with our friends at Zilker, Zilker Brewing out of Austin, Texas. If you ever get a chance to go there, I highly recommend it. They brew some awesome stuff.
Got to get pictures for to post on all the socials. Oh, I did. See, I'm so stupid. I did it this way. It should have been that way. Like okay, so for people listening to audio only, we do video now. I know I usually forget to mention that at the beginning. So if you want to, I know I interrupted you, Anthony.
Yeah, the sight gags really make for great audio as well.
I know it's fantastic. But you know what? Hey, listen, you gotta if you want to see what we're doing, you gotta go on the social media.
Video's the future.
That's right, it is. So we are on Facebook, we are on Twitch, well, hold on. For video, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, which you can mainly find us over at the Partycast Network over on Twitch and Twitter, but you can find us at Let's Do a Podcast, our video.
Yeah, I'm glad you know how to do all this stuff because I barely know how to use Facebook anymore. I'm getting to that age.
I only do Facebook to post this stuff, and that's it. Like, I mean, we're not really super active. The most place where I'm active is now on Twitter. I feel like that's kind of the future is Twitter now. I feel like all of a sudden for podcasters and streamers, Twitter has really taken off. So I'm trying to get more active there. And so I will be sharing kind of this stuff on my Twitter, which is, I don't
Yeah, I
No.
feel like I'm just sitting back on my porch, shaking my fist, and it's like all those kids on their TikToks and their whoozy what's its. Get off my lawn
Yeah, I mean,
with your floss. Do they do the floss dance still? Is that still a thing?
probably not.
I think once I learned how to do it, they stopped doing it. So,
Jeez. Of course, you would learn how to do it.
oh yeah,
But anyway,
you get
so
bored every now and then.
yeah, make sure you check out PartyCast Network anywhere that you can, any social media place, or Let's Do a Podcast on YouTube and Facebook if you want to watch the video. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
And then I get just get all in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways.
you will see our lovely visages.
Yes, because apparently people want to see it. So
Yeah, like just like put your hands over your eyes and just like kind of look through the cracks there, and you should be able to take it. Yeah, you can deal with us.
maybe, maybe. Anything else before we start moving on to the movie?
Beer, banter. No, I think we're good now. We can talk about movie. Yeah,
Beer, banter, and beats. I don't know.
B movies. But this is not a B movie. This one's actually good. I mean, I think we may disagree with this, but this one's like typically when we do Cage Fest, we typically find like some of the schlockiest stuff. But I think this year, I ended up picking some ones that are considered more critically acclaimed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, two out of three, anyways. More than usual for us. And we can talk about what our opinions are on actual opinions are on these.
Yeah.
I'll try to keep that to a minimum so we can be shocked at each other's opinions of these movies, but keep it natural for the audience there. But yeah, we've already spoiled each other a little bit, but so the movie is Pig, came out last year in 2021. We watched this on Hulu. You watched it on Hulu as well, right?
Yes. Yes. I did not pay for this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this one, if you want to watch it for free, you can watch it on Hulu. Hulu, there are commercials. If you don't have the commercial free service with Hulu, but if you're trying to watch movies for free, then you probably don't have the commercial free service anyways.
I mean, I don't either. So
I'm just guessing. I was like, I don't. So, but the synopsis here. So let me kind of read through what the goings on of this movie is. So I found a nice synopsis here that kind of talks about it without spoiling it.
oh, that's
So
nice.
here it goes. So Rob, our character played by Nick Cage, he lives out in a rustic hut in the Oregon woods with only a foraging pig, a truffle pig, for a companion, which is how he prefers it. His hair is matted, clothes are tattered, and he looks every bit the hermit he is. He does. If you've seen the trailer for this, he looks like a guy who's been living in the woods for 15 years, which is
Oh,
about how
yeah,
long he's been out there.
for sure.
It's The Quiet Life, just him and his pig, captured with tenderness by the director, Michael Sarnowski, which this is his first movie he's ever filmed, which I gotta say, bravo for a first movie you've ever done. This visually looks good. If not if not the story being good. Uh, and yeah, with the director for photography. So once a week, the Rob, he has a wordless exchange. He doesn't talk for like the first part of the movie there, and in fact, I get the impression he hasn't talked in like 15 years.
Yeah, because whenever he first tries to, he like has to like almost like he has to like cough or like be like, "Oh
Yeah,
my
he
gosh, I
like
haven't
croaks it
talked."
out. Yeah.
Yeah, he could barely say something.
So yeah, once a week, Rob has a wordless exchange with Amir, played by Alex Wolf. He's a young luxury ingredient supplier from Portland, who has a, I think, cool yellow sports car and designer belt buckle. So he's like the polar opposite of Rob. Amir is he's like this like caring what other people think. Like he's like needs to maintain his reputation and all this stuff, and Rob like doesn't give a shit about that.
Right.
But one night, Rob is knocked out by a couple of thugs, a couple of druggies. We find out. When he awakens, his pig has been stolen, is gone. He calls Amir for help after he like trudges through the woods. He tries to drive his truck, which I'm guessing his truck has not been driven in forever too, because that thing breaks down immediately.
Oh my god, it sounded awful too. Like that was the thing is whenever it first started, it's like there ain't no way he's gonna get far. And then yeah, he barely like left his cabin and it broke down. I was like, okay, that's
Yeah.
realistic.
But he finally gets to a restaurant. He walks out there and he calls Amir, which is like the only guy he's had contact with for years now. Calls him for help. Rob returns to the city with Amir, where he once lived, and where he once loomed large on the culinary scene. So apparently, we find out during the course of the movie that he was a very sought after and very popular chef. Um, and that kind of leads us to the central conceit of the movie, where he basically goes to Portland to seek out where who has his pig,
Right.
because it's as he says later in the movie, and I don't, if you watch the first part of the movie, I don't think it's any mystery that he loves the pig.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I mean, he treats it almost, well, just like you would, I guess, like
like
your dog or
yeah,
something. I
yeah,
mean,
like a like or even like, almost like a kid.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
But that kind of gets us to where it starts getting a little bit more spoilery. But Ryan,
Anthony,
what were your overall thoughts? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? What are you thinking here?
it was a very interesting movie.
It's like you worked in food service, so I figured you'd have like insight into the goings on here.
Oh, not a, I mean, this is not relatable to the cooking world from, or at least from what I know here in Texas. Who knows about Portland? It might be more crazy.
Yeah, it's like there's a scene which I didn't mention where there's actually an underground like a fight club
Fight Club,
where
yeah.
amongst in the restaurant industry in Portland.
It's,
Like, we
yeah.
don't have that here in Texas?
Not that I know of. I might not have hit that status where I can go to something like that. But what a wild movie in the sense of just like the portrayal of the culinary world is just the most unrelatable thing, or at least from my experience.
This
Um,
is like whenever I see something with airplanes, I'm like, "That's not real."
right? Yeah, it feels like that. But I mean, obviously, a pig that could find like truffle, like that's
Yeah,
I would
that's a thing, right?
imagine that, huh?
That's a thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I would imagine it's actually like very, like I can imagine all of this. Obviously this is exaggerated, but I could see it being some sort of big thing, having a pig that can find truffle, because truffle, I mean, that's expensive
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, the price per ounce on that stuff is like I mean, bought that guy is like what do you say it was like a Charger or something like that? I thought it was a much nicer car. It's like turns out it's like a Dodge Charger or
No, it was a Camaro.
a Camaro. Though
Yeah,
Camaro's a nice car.
yeah, it is. But yeah. So very interesting movie. Very, very interesting. Like I watched the trailer, and the movie, I feel like is a lot different than what I expected, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. So I've heard, I've read a little bit into it to get like what the overall vibe is on it because I've going into this, I had heard that this is probably one of Nick Cage's better movies. And actually, if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, it's actually his highest rated movie he's ever been in, like beating like Raising Arizona, which I believe he won uh, or was nominated for an Oscar for. It was either that or a different movie. Anyways, he's been nominated for an Oscar before, and this
Mhm.
has a higher rating than any of those movies. And there are a lot of people who were saying that he should have been nominated for an Oscar for this movie, which of course he wasn't, which is a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did a great job. I really do. And if you know me, that's giving very high praise to Nicolas Cage. If I
Yeah,
said that you did a good job, um, is it my favorite Nicolas Cage? No, but it's still really, really good acting. And I mean, I stayed entertained just because I wanted to know what happened to the fucking pig.
yeah. I want to frame this for you though, and see what you think about it when we frame it this way. This movie, I've heard it compared to John Wick.
No.
Yeah, I've heard this is John Wick if John Wick was reacting like a normal human being and not just killing every motherfucker he saw. Because the whole thing with John Wick is that his dog was killed, and he goes on this murderous rampage through like the criminal underbelly
Yeah.
of whatever city he's in to basically avenge his dog being killed. In this case, it's his pig being stolen. Nick Cage's pig being stolen, and he's basically going through almost He's almost like tearing through the underground restaurant scene in Portland, but like not in a violent way, but like just kind of like in a determined, steady, like
Yeah.
egoless way to just track down uh, where what's his is located.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I feel like it's a stretch, but at the same time, I kind of get it. Like he does give off those vibes too.
Hmm.
Like,
Very intense.
yeah. But I don't know. I guess so. Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. But anyways, um the way it ended, I didn't like the ending of this movie.
It was a bummer because spoiler alert, it turns out the pig was dead the entire time.
Yeah.
And basically nobody like
None of it mattered.
yeah, the dude and they hit on that too towards the end of the movie. He's basically like I kind of wish I didn't go looking for the pig cuz then the pig would at least in my mind be alive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where the pig was, but at least I would think that the pig was still living. Um and they kinda go into, like, the futility of it all, and the interesting thing is, like, it goes into, like, the fact that he doesn't even need the pig to find his truffles. He doesn't need it for his living. He can do that by himself.
Yeah.
He just has the pig because I was, like, half expecting them to pull a John Wick where, like, the pig was a gift from, like, his, deceased wife.
Yeah.
But apparently that's not the case.
No.
Yeah.
That's the like yeah,
I don't know how long pigs live for, so
the connection with the pig was very odd. But yeah, it just I don't know. I felt like it should have ended with him having the pig. Just I think that would have
like, give the guy a
been
happy ending, come on.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would have been a good ending.
He's very it's a very melancholy movie. He's, like, very sad and very depressed throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
But not like sad sack, but, like, just it's just, like, he's just got, the sadness that's been on him you can tell he's just kinda been, like, in that depressed mode ever
Yeah.
since, like, his wife passed away.
It's true.
It's not explicitly stated, but you can kinda tell from, everything that happens.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's your like? What's one thing that you liked?
So my favorite thing in this movie, and this is a whole scene in this movie that I liked. I went and I checked because this scene feels like it goes by very fast, but this is a whole 10 minutes of the movie, and it's the scene where they go to Chef Finlay's restaurant. When they go to Chef Finlay, and basically what they do is the whole thing is basically they track down after they go to this fighting ring, they get a line on who may know where the pig is. They go and they find out it's Chef Finlay's restaurant. Chef Finlay used to work for Rob.
Right.
He because Rob was again a big deal in Portland. Some 15 years ago, he was like a prep cook, and he was fired for overcooking the pasta. But the interesting thing on this conversation, they have him. They get a meal there. They have Finlay come out because he wants to talk to the chef. Finlay realizes who he is, and during the course of their conversation, he basically tears down, and not in like a brutal or like not in like a witty way or anything like that, but he like tears down like the pretentiousness of Chef Finlay, and basically like, "What are you doing with your life? You told me when you were like 15 years younger that you wanted to open an English pub, and now you're doing this macro gastronomic deconstruction food service thing." And and like the best part of it is where he's like, "What was the dish? What was the dish you wanted to make? What was your signature dish going to be?" And he like rattles it off like that. He like I forget what it was like Scotch eggs or something like that. But like you could see it like in the guy's eyes, like the just existential panic that he has because he realizes he's not where he wants to be. And then like when he just like gulps down that vintage wine. It's like that whole scene though, the way that's just whole all conducted, it was just like the subtleness of the way Nick Cage kind of delivered it,
Mhm.
and then the how that played off of with the actor playing Chef Finlay. I thought it was just like a really cool, really interesting scene of just like two characters talking, but like all this range of emotions going on. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was a good scene. Um, my favorite scene, I that's really actually hard for me. I've been trying to think of like what scene did I like the most, and I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a lot of good scenes, but like nothing that like jumps out at me. I do like the Fight Club for the food industry scene. That is
Yeah.
just completely wild.
Was the guy that he fought, was he like a little person?
I think he was just short.
Or is he or is he
Eh,
just short? Because
uh,
like, I don't know how tall Nick Cage is, but he seemed like, almost like maybe 3/4 to
yeah,
half his height.
and it doesn't help that like the camera was like down low too.
Yeah.
Like the angle of it was it just that was very weird. But and you couldn't quite so what it was is you would put your name on this list and you have to sit there for was it a full minute or something like that, and the other person just gets to punch the shit out of you.
Yeah, like, they bid money to, like it looked like they were bidding money or chits or something to, like, get the opportunity to beat the hell out of whoever it was.
Yeah, and the person that they're beating up doesn't fight back. So I don't quite understand that whole thing, except for just like it was crazy.
Oh, the restaurant scene, I've heard it's pretty stressful. I've never been in
Oh,
it,
I
so
mean,
maybe they're just working out their stress.
there are days I know I would probably easily go to one of those.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It was weird, but I was just like, I kind of want a spin-off of this. I want to know more about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is very odd. But so I'd probably say that's one of my favorite scenes just because like that's the one scene that really made me think of just like how is this even put together? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
like
weird.
they don't yeah, because they don't go too much into it, except for the fact that he knows this guy, 'cause they meet him once in, like, this, food truck park,
Yeah.
and then they find him again in this basement of this former hotel that's now like a public square. Uh, but the other thing I really liked about that scene was that because it kind of like hit upon the fact that Rob, the character Rob, he has nothing to prove to anybody. He doesn't really care what anybody thinks of him, and I feel like that's really shown by the fact that he just stands there, puts his hands behind his back, and just let this guy wail on him because he doesn't need to show up and like make everybody think he's like some macho big bad
All right.
tough badass. He just wants the damn pig. He just wants his pig, and that's all he cares about.
Yep. Um sorry. Um
Yeah, sorry, gas. What did you not like about it though, Ryan?
that's right. I read something and then my mind just flew off. What did I not like? Actually, there's quite a bit. Um I don't know why this got me just like annoyed was whenever he goes, I remember every meal I've ever cooked. I remember every person that I served. I remember every like he just like went down this list of like pretty much he remembers every little detail of every little meal and every person that he served. That is the most unrealistic thing out of all of this.
Yeah, it was like how slow was the service in this restaurant he
Yeah,
was working in?
you must really work at a shitty restaurant where people don't come in, or you're so exclusive that like you serve maybe 10 people like every 6 months. I don't know.
Yeah,
Cause like whenever I think back, I'm just like, I remember overall like the most common meals that we would cook. Um, certain places or weddings and kind of like little things that do stand out that I remember, but I don't remember everybody. And I did it for 12 years.
yeah.
But like I couldn't even tell you the last 3 years. So I mean, granted, I have a terrible memory, but still, like, it's just, I think in general, it's so unrealistic, and I don't know why immediately whenever he started talking about that, I was like, "That's fucking stupid and not real." Like, come on, nobody remembers all this stuff.
So my understanding of it is only as a customer, but I recently just celebrating an occasion with my wife. We went to a pseudo fancy-ish restaurant where they had what appeared to be a head chef, and and I don't know if this is a common thing, but it appeared to me that the head chef wasn't necessarily even in the kitchen working on the food, but he was just like put hands on it, like as a kind of a quality control before it went out of the kitchen. And so, like, he wasn't even, like, cooking the wouldn't even, like, in a normal situation be cooking the food, but, like, making sure everything is representative of what his, menu is
Mhm.
before it goes out, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some places are like that. There are obviously some places where the the head chef, he does cook. Depending, again, it's all kind of like about the size, the type of place, what he wants. Um,
He is the boss, so
yeah.
yeah.
So like a place like that, I mean, that might be a little bit easier to remember a lot of the people that you serve,
Mhm.
because you're out there more. But in the kitchen, I mean, come on, you make so much.
Yeah.
Like, even if it is only like 10 people a night, that kind of exclusive place, that's still a lot of food
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because people are going to come in
And
and
it's like 10
order a
people
lot of
every
stuff.
night, yeah.
So, and I get it. It's a movie. I get it, but still, like, for
Yeah,
some reason, that just really hit a nerve. I was like, that's fucking stupid.
we're just gonna take it, I guess, that he has an eidetic memory or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. This guy does not forget a thing,
Yeah.
apparently, which, oh my God, that would be frustrating to live with, I bet. But, maybe that's why the pig was oh my God,
It's interesting because it never really comes into anything later, except for the fact that he just remembers who all his contacts are after 15 years. I probably wouldn't remember any of that shit.
no.
I couldn't tell you anything. Like, I think I was in. I was talking to my wife actually. And it's like I was in the military 15 years ago. I couldn't tell you shit about who I knew and what I was doing when I was in the military 15 years ago. So maybe that is how he's able to remember all this stuff is just like this past life. He's got this like eidetic memory that he's able to remember everything that happened and it just happens to be still going on some 15 almost 20 years later.
Could be. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. Anyway, so that's probably what I disliked most about this movie. What about you?
Oh, I have a thing. I have to have a thing where I didn't like about this movie.
Yes, not just me.
The thing you talked about how you didn't really care for the ending. They kind of did lose me at the ending of this movie, not necessarily because it didn't have the happy ending, but because it felt like the movie was kind of building up to this crescendo, because it led it kind of we get led to like the big or the quote unquote big bad, the antagonist of this entire movie, which is Amir's father, who is also a luxury goods salesperson, who's kind of like got a lock on the industry in Portland. And Instead of going in and throat punching him or anything like that, he cooks him this fancy meal, which he happened to have this really fancy meal with his wife. And there's this whole thing where his wife, his uh, on life support, she's like basically brain dead at this point. Is what it seems. Um, but we get to that. He breaks down. He reveals that the pig has actually been dead this entire time. But then we move past that, and we get basically he gets taken back into to where he lives, near where he lives, and the end of the movie, he just walks out there, and we just see him walking back into the camp. And everything just there's like I guess it's like life in a way, in that there's like no clean endings to stuff like this. Stuff just happens and it just keeps going. So it's kind of like that, but I like to have a nice like wrapped up ending to kind of tie up the plot. And it really wasn't that. It was just very much like left I mean, we didn't have any really loose ends in the plot, but it just kind of like it felt like it like rose, crescendo, crescendo, and then it just kind of like petered out.
Yeah, it like you said, there wasn't really loose ends, but it felt like it ended kind of like rushed in a sense of just like,
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, and it's
Such a
over."
build up,
Yeah.
and then you just kind of like left hanging in
It's
a
like because it's
sense.
like this movie is all about, like, kind of the emotion of it, and it built up all this emotional tension,
Yeah,
and then it just kinda, like everything was, like, exhausted, with that scene with the dad when he kinda breaks down after eating that meal,
yeah,
and, yeah, and then it just kinda, like from it just kinda goes down like, all the tension's released, but not in the way you would typically have with a movie where, like, the bad guy's defeated or anything like that, and, like, the guy is victorious, but it's just
yeah,
like, the tension's released in, like, calm kind of almost a frustrating way because nobody gets their comeuppance either. I was like, "These people committed a crime." It's like,
yeah,
call the police on them. Like, like,
yeah. That was it. It was just
the tweaked out druggies, they don't get any punishment for, like, stealing the pig and killing it.
yeah,
This dude doesn't get any punishment for, going and, setting this whole thing up. He's still, like, out there making his bucks, selling troubles and whatnot. It's like and, like, our 2 heroes, Rob and Amir, Rob's just, like, sloughing off back to his camp, to, go look for truffles by himself, and Amir's in the woods sleeping in his car because he's, like, pretty shook by all of this.
yeah.
So, it's like it's kind of a bummer ending for, like, the people we've been following the entire time.
Yeah, it definitely was. Besides the, not having a happy ending, it just was a weird ending.
Yeah,
Just
but
feeling wise, at least.
it is what you would kind of expect from, like, this type of more auteur, artistic type movie.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Um, anything else to mention before we rate this movie?
Uh, Great acting by the pig. Pig is a great actor.
Hmm.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I always wonder, like, how actors deal, how some like, how actors are working with animals because I always hear, like, it's such a nightmare working with animals, but I bet that working with the pig was probably fun.
Seemed like it.
Yeah,
I can imagine that the pig is gonna have more roles.
yeah,
It's probably not his last
yeah.
shindig.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
That's right. All right. So, how would you rate this?
Uh, I would rate this as a cheers. I enjoyed this and I recommend it. It is while it is more on the artistic side. Uh, uh, just go in there with an open mind. We always talk about would this be fun to watch? Would this be one to watch with friends or watch by yourself? I think this is either or. Probably better to watch by yourself though, because it's kind of a thinker a little bit, and it kind of like relies on you to react to it emotionally,
Hmm.
and pulls on that a little bit. Uh, and so I recommend this movie. I recommend you probably watch it alone, at a time when it's quiet. Uh, there's because there's just some scenes that you won't be able to get into otherwise, and that's my thoughts on that.
No, I do agree with this. I would give it a cheers. Um, I I think it was perfectly fine watching it alone. Um, the wife, I mean, right now our only TV is in our bedroom, so she falls asleep immediately anytime we try to watch anything. So, uh, she was asleep, so I pretty much was watching it by myself. Um, it was, I think it was good. I mean, again, it's probably one of my favorites. It's on my list of favorite acting roles by Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he delivers it very well.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was like my second favorite thing is like there are some movies there are a lot of movies where Nick Cage is goes in there. I always criticize The Rock for this, is like The Rock goes in and acts in a role, and it's The Rock, it's not the character. He doesn't disappear into his roles. A lot of
Yep.
times Nick Cage does that too. It's like he walks in there and it's just Nick Cage. It's not this character, it's Nick Cage.
Yeah.
This was not Nick Cage. This was Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he, like I mean, I don't know if it was the fact that he was, like, matted down, he had a really bushy beard that I'd never seen before, and just he was just, like didn't look like Nick Cage in any other movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, he disappeared in this role, so yeah, it was really he delivered it.
I agree. I do. So, um, I would recommend watching the trailer first, um, to know if honestly if it's something that you want to watch. I watched the trailer. I knew that I wanted to watch it.
Mhm.
Um, but I could see it also being one where you watch the trailer and you're like, meh, I'll pass. But you know, it's Nicolas Cage. It's Cage Fest. So out of all the Cage movies that we've seen lately, this is probably on my top list that we've seen.
It's not too hard. We've watched some really bad ones.
We've seen a lot of
Yeah.
bad
We
ones.
still got Jujitsu out there we still need to watch.
Ugh.
Not this year.
But I mean, if I'm comparing this to Willy's Wonderland, or is it Willy?
Yeah, Willy's Wonderland. Oh, this
Yeah.
is up there with that because that movie
This
was
is
fucking
this is
awesome.
probably number 2 for me. Um,
That's hard.
yeah, for me. But I
Yeah.
mean, like when it comes to Nicolas Cage, I am extremely picky about what I actually like from him.
Yeah, Willy's Wonderland, I'd watch with, like, my buddies. This movie, I'd watch with my wife.
I mean, I would watch this with my buddies. I'd watch this with my wife. It doesn't matter who I'd watch this with if I
Yeah.
watch with people. Willy's Wonderland, I could easily watch that a lot by myself or
Yeah.
with a bunch of buddies.
That movie's a little cathartic.
It's so good. So yeah, I would probably put this as number 2. And I'm rating these out of all Nicolas Cage movies that I've seen, not just from the podcast.
Yeah.
Um,
There are lots of them.
so there you go. First one right out of the bat, it's a cheers from both of us. So GG's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, good game, man.
What do you think about this beer? We're almost done with it. We're getting there.
Yeah, I'm working through it. It's funny with the triple. It's always with these triple IPAs. The more I drink it, the more I like it. But I don't know if it's the buzz or what. So
Probably. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty high APV if I remember right. Yeah, 10.5%. So we're starting off pretty strong.
yeah, it's interesting. Because it's got your pretty standard New England IPA taste, but it's been a while since I've had like a good juicy IPA. So I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, 10.5%. Oof.
What would you rate it?
Ooh, out of the 5-point score, I'd wrote this as maybe a solid 4.
I'd probably put this for me at 4.5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I really like this one a lot. There's a lot of flavors in this, and I like that. But I mean, it's with Zilker and Turning Point. I mean, it
Yeah,
can't
it's like
not be a good beer.
it's like 2 of the best in Texas.
Yeah, that's so good. But I'm missing something. What's next? Oh, thing of the week. Oh, geez, thing of the week. I didn't even prepare for this. Do you have something, or do we need to try to figure out something?
I think it's pretty faddish right now, but my
Great,
thing of the
do it.
week is pretty simple. Uh, just like everybody else, if you've seen these like green and black and yellow squares showing up on your feed, I've been one of those people putting them out there. This
Ugh.
Wordle game. I am a sucker for word games, and I've been playing the hell out of this. I've been playing this game now for almost 2 months. And I don't know what it is. It's like part of my morning routine now. I just hopped in there, and I'm just like, I actually played it right before we started the podcast. I was like, I gotta get my streak in there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So my thing of the week is Wordle. It may be the thing of the year. It's because it started like right up in January. So
I started playing, but if you know me, I'm really bad at words, spelling, anything related to words. I'm really bad. But 2 days ago, right? So I've been playing. I think I started last Sunday, and I've only gotten 1 day wrong. So I feel like that's pretty good for somebody that sucks at this shit.
yeah.
But honestly, I almost didn't want to because of the posting your stats or whatever the hell that
Oh,
is.
I
Oh,
don't,
it annoys the fuck out of me.
I did it for the first like 2 or 3 times, and then I stopped doing it. It's like I don't want my
Oh my,
feed to be just like green and yellow squares.
it's so stupid. I'm like, I don't care how you people did.
It's
Like,
funny. You know what is funny though is like the first time when it like was again when it was just like starting, I everybody was doing it and I couldn't figure out how to do it, so I was just doing it manually until I found there was a share button that just
ah,
does it for you. But I was just out there like with my green and black and yellow squares, just like kind of punching everything and like just like all right, first one, black, black, green, black, black, yellow, or how many? There was 5 squares. And then just kinda going down the row there. It's like keeping track of it. It took a while. But
does.
yeah, I don't do that anymore. I don't post it, so
Thank you.
yeah. I like to keep. I haven't posted any. Yeah, but I also haven't posted anything since I last posted something about Wordle, so I don't post very much.
I mean, I was looking at my Facebook actually today to see because I was thinking, I think I posted something that I wanted to like reshare. And I was just like, I don't remember the only things that I've posted is just like resharing like our podcast or the strikeout beer or you know what I mean? It's just like I've like shared things, but I've never actually made a post in a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm just because like truth, I hate Facebook. I just do.
Oh yeah. If I could get rid of it, oof,
And
that'd
I've
be
been
nice.
thinking about it, but I mean the only reason I have it is because of a lot of pages that I'm a part of and stuff like that. That I'm like, okay, I kind of want to stay in those, even though I don't even look at them. I don't know. But anyways, um, my thing of the week, it's a lot different, but and I'm pretty sure I've shared this before, but I want to recommend therapy. Um, it's something I started. Oh, geez, I've probably been doing since towards the end of December or beginning of December. I started doing therapy, and man, let me tell you, it's changed my life. And I think honestly, I think just even if you think you're okay, you're fine, just having somebody to talk to, because there are days I go, I'm like, honestly, this last week, everything felt fine and great. But then it's like we kind of just talk about the past and kind of work on just if you're, like I consider myself a good person, but it's working on becoming an even better person and figuring out your past so you can realize like, oh, I do this because of how I was, raised this way or because of this trauma or you know what I mean? So I just recommend give it a shot. Just go, be open-minded, and especially if you are going through something really tough, really hard because like whenever I went, it was for one specific reason. And let me tell you, we have gone way off of that subject to go on to many more things it's absolutely changed my life and for the best. I mean, I know mentally I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life. Absolutely. I know I've said that throughout our podcast episodes where I'm like taking care of your mental health and taking care of yourself, all that stuff. And it just, this last, well, how many months? This last like 3, 4 months, it's mentally been the best. So there we go.
Nice.
Do you want to do the socials or should I?
I don't even remember the
Yeah,
socials
there's
at
a
this
lot
point.
more now. So, I should have turned that down first. So you can follow us on you can follow Let's Do a Podcast on Facebook at Let's Do a Podcast, Twitter at Let's Tweet a Pod, Instagram at Let's Instapod. Yeah, YouTube at I think you could just search Let's Do a Podcast now and we should show up.
Do you remember the socials?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing great. You can also follow us at the PartyCast Network because we are a part of the PartyCast Network on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. I think that's it.
TikTok.
There is a TikTok for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. I need to go and post.
Do I need to download TikTok now?
Yeah, don't do it. So check out PartyCast Network. Check out Let's Do a Podcast. Let's have some fun. Connect with you guys. If there's any beer you want us to drink, hit us up. If there's any movies you want us to watch, make sure you let us know.
Caveat, I will not drink that Thanksgiving beer again.
No, we will not do that beer again. But I think based off of having that beer, we'll pretty much try anything now.
Yeah, true. Very true.
So, except for he's scared to try a pickle beer. But, ladies and gentlemen, hang out with us. Next week, it's Wicker Man. So, buckle up, Buttercup.
Not the bees.
Not the bees. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And let's end the podcast. Bye.
Bye.